the most expensive Yu-Gi-Oh card in my collection. The $16,000 Yu-Gi-Oh card. Today we're going to be exploring why this card is so much money. Be talking about the collector's market and how I am shipping this card out in probably one of the biggest deals I have ever done. So let's dig on into our discussion on one of the most expensive Yu-Gi-Oh cards in the game. $16,000. Actually, there's an offer for this on the table for 19 grand to Japan for collectability. So the first thing you're probably going to be like is, Yu-Gi-Oh cards are worth that much money? You're like, oh, well, no, wait a minute. That doesn't make any sense to me. I've never heard of this Shelga the Tri-Warlord before. And I also see that it's in bad platinum rare. Card must be fake. No, it's not. So, for those of you that have been following this channel for a couple years, I've been through 3 World's Prize cards. The Pit Boss, the Thunder Monarch, and this guy, the Shelga the Tri-Warlord. Alright, now, this is one of the 6 World's Prize cards that are in the market every year. Now, I picked this up for about 5 grand a couple years ago. I was like, you know what, let's see where the collector's market's gonna go. You know, one hadn't been on the market for a little while, and I was like, let's do this. So we picked it up. We held it in our collection for a little while. I had a couple of offers for 10 grand from a couple people. I was like, you know what, I don't really need the money. And I got an offer from a friend of mine. He was like, all right, there's this. I was like, you know, like, I love you as a friend. We're not gonna hold off on that. And then I got an offer from a buyer in Japan for 15. I was like, well, you know, I'm tripling my investment at this point. I'm like, I get 15. I was like, not really that interested. And then Yu-Gi-Oh! Black Market reached out to me. And they were like, hey, we're looking for World's Prize cards. You know, we want something nice to have around the shop and display. And I was like, well, you know, this is the current offer, which is 15. Another friend of mine was interested at, you know, the 15 mark as well. I had a couple of other stray offers, but what it comes down to is business relationships. Now, I could take the risk. I could package this up, deal with the long-term scrutiny here, and being like, well, you know, all jokes aside, like, ta-da, take the risk versus the return. I can go with what I know and get the safety net. So, why is this card $16,000? Why is this worth so much money? So I mentioned that it's a World's Prize card. Now, you guys don't know, every year, except for this year, World's winners actually get different cards. There's a card for winning, and then there is a card for second, third, and fourth. Top 8, unfortunately, doesn't get them. And they're what we like to call the match winners. Alright, now if you guys don't know this, they all have similar text to Victory Dragon. This one being, once per turn, you can banish 1 Psychic type Pendulum monster you control, and then target 1 Pendulum monster you control. If it attacks your opponent directly and reduces their life points to 0 this turn, you win the match. The shockwaves of powerful battles have warped reality, allowing the proud, valiant to emerge from the dimensional sea. Honestly, this card art is really cool. So, you're dealing with a card on another level. Alright, now, you guys might be like, well, you know, the collector's market's a joke, Robbie. It doesn't make sense. You know those World sealed envelopes from last year, the 2019s? The ones that people could barely sell for $300 if they were lucky? They're $1,500 now. Alright? We all joke about the collector's market being this frail object, and you know, it doesn't make sense that things are this much money. But when you start messing around with things like this, the vintage market eats this alive. Alright, your collector's market, to the normal competitive Yu-Gi-Oh player out there, The tier above competitive is that collector's market. You know, you all sit here and we talk about these $100 cards. This goes into the PSA market. I saw a Christia First Edition PSA 10 selling for $1,300 on bid. All right, think about that. That's for a First Edition Christia PSA graded. All right. Gardeniatos, same thing. LOB First Edition Blue Eyes boxes are about 20 grand at the moment. All right. And the market doesn't understand this. They're like, doesn't make sense to me. CRV sealed boxes, couple grand. All right. I just sold a First Edition, the set that has Rabiel Haman in it. I sold a First Ed sealed box for $1,200. Little box was it's the hobby versus the retail. I think it was the bad one, but we unloaded it for $1,200. And you're like, wait, sealed product is worth something in the long run? Yeah. You know, we look at products like this. In the year 2025, you'll be seeing these pushing $30-40. All right. You act like this is a joke, but sealed product, if you look at last year's tins, yeah, I know that there was value to be had in them. You know, the Nibiru's and the Dark Rollers, you can't find them for under $30 sealed at the moment. Isn't that crazy? The legendary boxes for like Yugi, the ones that had the gods in them, those are so, even the reprint ones are ridiculous in value right now. All right. So 16 grand for a Worlds card. Is it amazing? Is it worth it? I debated on keeping it. I finally hit the number that I was like, you know, we can use the capital to generate some more things for the business. We can capitalize on having more money available for future product to turn around. It's easier that way, personally. And coming off of the Megatins here, you're like, wow, we just spent 20 grand. You know, you're turning this $5,000 card into 16 grand. You're also like, oh, what in the, who would buy this for $16,000? You guys. The Upper Deck Seal Voricalcos is selling for 10 grand. All right, bare minimum, by the way. Easy peasy. There are other cards like these on display in Japan selling for 20,000-30,000. There's been a couple on eBay selling for ridiculous amounts of money. And it's the 0.1% of players in this game that really get the chance to sit at this dinner table and go, holy crap, there's an entirely new dimension to this game. You know, when you're looking through these old collections and you might happen to find across what a First Edition Mahavila, for example, here, or, you know, an LOB First Edition Red Eyes, or something like that. You guys, we truly underestimate the value of the older things in this game. DDS Blue Eyes White Dragons sealed in the video game, by the way. Those exist. I have a friend that's got a couple copies. It's ridiculous. Okay, these old dual terminal sets, I used to have the old DT sets. I ended up selling them, made a decent amount of money. Kind of regretted it for the time. It is what it is. You live and learn. But for the most part, though, ladies and gentlemen, I do think out there that we might only scratch the surface on talking about this stuff out here. But the collector's market, you know, it's not even like the vintage side of things. It's the sealed, the first editions, the misprints, the YCS. Have you seen the SJC prize card market as of late? The SJC prize card market, you're looking at least 10 grand bare minimum now for an SJC Cyberstein. All right, crush cards ramping up for some of the most ridiculous value. You used to be able to get an SJC set for 5, 6, 7 grand. Not even close to that anymore. So, prize cards have become real currency to the collector's market. We've adapted the collector's market to a whole nother level at this point, and players don't seem to understand that. So, as you're commenting down below going, haha, he's trolling, it's not worth that much, haha, you're stupid for believing him, that's on you. I bring the content. I like to talk about collector's ability and things like that, and when I'm holding a 106 card in my hand in the world, trust me, you should look at the Pokemon market. It's just way more toxic than anything that we've ever actually experienced. Let me tell you what. Guys, please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. It's a whole another world out there for the market. And it is a crazy creature, let me tell you what. Alright guys, I'm out. Peace. Thank you, patrons, for making the ride never truly end. Without you guys' support, well, I would probably be doing Truffle Shuffle videos for a living. Guys, please check out VanCall40 for all of your Cardfight Vanguard content brought to you by MCall40. And if you are looking to pick up singles, check out mcallgames.com for your trading card game needs. Thanks for watching, everybody.